Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. So this is actually a video that I make some version of every year for my clients. And this is the one that I recorded last year. And I thought this year for 2021, why not just upload it on YouTube so that everybody can see it? Everybody can get the tips about my tips for holiday eating and still staying on track. This is not a very edited video, again, because this is what I share in my private client group for people. But this year I wanted to share it with everybody. So without further ado, enjoy my tips for holiday eating. Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I make some version of this video every year, and this year will be no different, except everything about this year is different. So today we're going to be talking about handling the holidays and dealing with the food situation in the holidays. It is a little bit more challenging to make this video this year because everybody is in a different place with different restrictions because of COVID, and I'm still going to talk about gatherings even if there aren't any. Maybe there will be by Christmas. I don't know. I know a lot of people, myself included, are going to be having Thanksgiving alone, and it's going to make it a little bit different with a couple of unique challenges there. But just in case people are still having gatherings, I do want to talk about the holidays. So even though everybody's plan is going to be different, everybody has some kind of a plan. You know what you're going to be doing. Make sure you have a plan for the holidays. So if you're a one-on-one client, you know, we've probably worked out what you're planning on doing for Thanksgiving. But if you're not a one-on-one client, I would still highly encourage you to create some kind of a game plan of how you're going to handle the food at the holidays. So what I always tell people before we get to the holidays is think back to a holiday where you ate yourself sick. Like, you know what I'm talking about, where you eat until your stomach hurts and you feel gross and you have to physically unbutton your pants. It's a bad feeling. It does not feel good. But we forget, and then the next holiday comes around and then we do it again. And we don't want to do that. So just remember what that feels like. Remember how it's not a super fun way to spend a holiday, and hopefully that will give you a little bit of motivation to make sure that that doesn't happen in the coming holidays. Okay, I have notes. I have notes every year. Okay, so if you are going somewhere, again, you know, who knows, but if you're going somewhere, bring a healthier dish. It doesn't have to just be a salad, but bring something that is vegan, that is gonna make it so that you have a satisfying meal. Because if you're vegan, which you guys are, and you're going somewhere where people are not vegan, sometimes all that there is salad, and that's not a very satisfying Thanksgiving dinner. So bringing something like a maple glazed Brussels sprouts or the apple sage sausage, those are great recipes to have. They're filling, they're Thanksgiving-y. Just bring something that's gonna fit that bill for yourself. And if you're hosting or having Thanksgiving at home like we are, put a healthy twist on things. It doesn't need to be the healthiest food that's ever been made. You don't need to play macro wizard with everything that you're eating. In fact, I would think that I would care. That's disordered. Don't do that. But you know, doing things like making your desserts with half the sugar instead of the sugar that it calls for, or half of the vegan butter or oil that it calls for, or finding a substitute altogether. Like, you know, instead of making a crust out of, you know, regular pie crust, you can do one of those like date almond types of crusts if you want to. So you don't have to, you know, make it a diet Thanksgiving, but you can still make it a healthier Thanksgiving if you're hosting for yourself. If you're hosting for other people, proceed with caution here. You don't want to be the person who just makes diet food for everybody. That's not making anybody want to go vegan. I'm just saying. One of my biggest rules for not just holidays, but parties, vacations, it doesn't matter. Anytime I'm in a situation that kind of calls for indulgence, I use what I call the here and now rule. And I call it that because I always ask myself, can I only get this thing here and now? So what I mean is, if you go to somebody's house for Thanksgiving and they have a bowl of chips and salsa, is that a thing people put out? I don't know. If you go anywhere and there's a bowl of chips and salsa, you can literally walk into a grocery store and buy that. You can walk into a convenience store and buy that right now. So is that worth a splurge? Something you could get at any gas station in the country? Probably not. But if it's like, oh, your cousin went out of their way to make you special vegan cookies, like just for you, like, yes, have that. That is something you can only get then, you can only get there. Those are the types of things that I'm saving my indulgences for, personally. And it really eliminates a whole lot of crap, work parties, which probably aren't happening this year, but things like Christmas Oreos show up at work parties frequently. Like, who cares, Christmas Oreos? But if somebody went out of their way to make something for you, or it's something that only comes around once a year, that's the kind of thing that I would say, indulge. That's where you want to indulge. Don't hover near the food. This, I think, is going to be harder than usual this year because there's going to be less company, if any company, and you're just that's it. It's like you and maybe one other person and food. But don't just hover around the table of food, because what's going to happen eventually, you're just going to start putting it in your mouth whether you're hungry or not. We all do it. So if you can get away from like the hors d'oeuvre table, do so. Train, move your body on Thanksgiving Day. A lot of gyms are closing again right now. That doesn't matter. You don't have to go to a gym to train. Just move your body. Break a sweat in the morning. Even if it's just for 30 minutes, you're gonna feel so much better for the rest of the day. Try to drink less. Curb the drinking, the alcohol. Keep that alcohol consumption low. If you can not drink, even better. There's so many reasons for this. One, it's, I hate the term empty calories, but if there ever was something that was empty calories, it's probably drinking. But more than that, when you're intoxicated, even just a little bit, you don't make choices that are as good. So you're much more likely to overindulge in something that you wouldn't have if you've been drinking. So drinking, especially to the point where you're drunk, almost always leads to overeating. Almost every client that I've ever worked with. So, keep it to 1 to 2 glasses, I would say, if you're going to drink. They call it a holiday. I say this every year. It is a holiday. It's not holidays. Well, I guess Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's is holidays, but Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. The problem is not that people have a holiday, in November and December and January. That's not the problem. The problem is we stretch that out over like a 6 to 8 week period of parties and treats and this and that. So if you can keep it just to the day, you're not going to ruin your progress enjoying a meal. You're just not. You didn't get where you are by eating one meal. You're not going to get where you want to be by eating one salad and doing one workout. You're not going to undo your progress having one holiday meal, really. But if you drag that out to a week or several Friendsgivings and all these Christmas parties, you can set yourself back months. So try to keep it to just the engagements that you really care about the most. And of course, eat mindfully. Pay attention to your food, pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to how you're feeling, pay attention to how the food tastes, eat slowly. You're going to enjoy it a lot more, and you are far less likely to overeat if you do those things. So a lot of these things I just said, we know, like we instinctually know them, but we don't always do them. And why is that? A lot of us go into the holidays with a negative mindset right out of the gate. We are approaching the holidays afraid of undoing our progress. And when you do that, you're actually giving all of these negative feelings and thoughts and fears a lot of attention rather than shifting the focus onto something positive. Like if you are getting to see some family members this year, focus on that. That is something to be really grateful for if that is something that you're safely able to do. Or, if there's a tradition that you do every year or a thing you watch on the TV every year, like you can focus on those things. Focus on all the things you do have to be grateful for this year. I think we should all be thinking about that a lot more this year, personally. It's okay to look forward to the food. you can look forward to the food. The food is delicious. The food is not just fuel, and I can't stand it when people say food is fuel. Oh, it's very utilitarian. No, food is a lot of things. Yes, it's fuel. It's also community. It's also tradition. It's also celebration, but it's not everything. So you can look forward to the food. You can enjoy the food without making the food the be all end all of the holiday. So shift your mindset going into the holidays and you're gonna be more successful. Because when you go into it with a negative mindset and you eat one extra cookie than you planned on, you're much more likely to be like, well, see, look, I knew I was gonna blow it and I blew it, and now I'm just gonna eat whatever I want for the rest of the week. And that's literally like you getting a flat and slashing your other 3 tires. It makes no sense at all. Let's see, I can barely even read my own handwriting. Give permission to yourself to enjoy the food. You don't need to feel guilty for enjoying the food. We're all enjoying the food. Your favorite athlete, your top level athlete that you can think of, they're enjoying the food. And if you're considering eating out of Tupperware for Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, it's definitely, clinically most people would say that's disordered, and it's not a testament to willpower or strength or how hardcore you are. It's more a testament to the fact that you have some disordered thoughts around food, and it's okay to allow yourself to enjoy the food. On a flip side of that coin, you also need to remember that you are the one that is in control of all of your choices. You are. This gets really kind of gray at the holidays because we all have those family members that are like, just try it, just have a little bit. It's okay, it's not gonna hurt you. Look at you, you're in such good shape, just have some. We all have that person, and we love these people. We want to do what makes them happy. But you also need to love yourself just as much and make the choices that are in line with what you believe the most, okay? So it's very important after the fact. You can't be like, well, so-and-so made me blah, blah, blah. No one can make you do anything. It's a choice. So you can choose to have the food. You can choose to have whatever you want, but just remember that it was your choice. It didn't happen to you. You're not a victim of the situation. You chose it. So, lastly, if you're feeling bingy, and you know what I'm talking about, you just know that if you start, you're not gonna stop. I like to use a DBT technique called the Ddd Technique, and it's delay, distract, and disarm. So if you start to get those bingy feelings, the first thing you should do is delay starting. A lot of times if you get the feeling like, oh, I just want to stuff my face with blah, 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 have a glass of water, walk around a little bit, think about it for a second. Usually if you can push that off, 10, 15, 20 minutes before you start eating, you can kind of chill that urge out a little bit. So delay starting eating. And if you do start eating, eat very slowly. So like you're delaying the whole process. Distract. This is pretty straightforward. If all you can think about is the food on the table or in the other room, distract yourself. Talk to people, play a game, go for a walk. It doesn't matter what you do, just distract yourself and that urge may subside on its own. And lastly, disarm. Disarm literally means just like get away from it. Just get away. It's not even a thing anymore. It can't hurt you if you're not near it. So most of the time these binge urges happen after the main event, after Thanksgiving. So leftovers is when I find that this happens more than anything else. It's not the first serving, it's the second, third, fourth serving. So if you're hosting, give as much of it away as you can in terms of leftovers. And if you're going somewhere and they're trying to give you leftovers, just politely decline. It's okay to politely decline. They wouldn't be happy if you took it home and threw it away. So let them give it to somebody who actually does want to have it. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. This is applicable to Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's applicable anytime you think you're gonna be in a situation that's going to be more food focused than you would like it to be. So that's what I got for you. what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? I'm very curious. I know I've talked to a lot of you one-on-one, but there's a lot of you that I don't talk to one-on-one. I'm curious to hear what your Thanksgiving is about to look like. And that's all I got. Hope you're having a good day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.